here in Brussels. Just saying, off camera, a bit of a wild one for you the last few months. For anyone that doesn't know much about that journey, can you kind of explain just before Paris, kind of that illness, kind of the Olympics, and how that's affected you?
Obviously, I don't want it to come across like I'm making excuses, but I picked up something before Paris. These things happen. Felt really good in the heat. Semi-final, just didn't have it. One of those things. And then post-Paris, I strained the tendon in my soleus, so I had to take 2 weeks off. Been building back, feeling alright in some sessions, not so good in others. Today, warming up, felt really good. My coach said I looked good, and we were like, yeah, we can be in it today. But I think it was clear though, that even that first 200, I was so far off it, and I just couldn't get in it today. And I wanted to come here and get standard for next year, tick that box early. Just missed out, which was tough, but I know that next year that's not going to be a problem because I've ran 142 this year, and I'm hoping to go a lot quicker next year.
You said in an interview with us, I forgot what it was to be fair, but you said, okay, I'm going to run 142 this year.
Yeah.
You did it. And reflecting on the entire year as a whole, you're second to Seb on the UK all-time list. That's some achievement.
Yeah, I mean, for me, times in this sport are so irrelevant. You can get athletes that run really good times but they never have medals. Records can be broken, medals can't get taken away from you unless unless you're dodgy. But I know that won't happen to me. But at the end of the day, a lot of people would be happy with the year I've had. Obviously British champion, Olympian, 142, but for me I had much bigger expectations, and I was in the shape to do very well at Paris, and I moved on from Monaco. But it's sport, these things happen. I know I've learned a lot this year. This is my first proper year on the circuit, I'd say. To make a Diamond League final was one of my targets at the start of the year. Probably coming 9th or 8th wherever I came last was not part of that target, but I'm happy to be here. I'm racing some of the best in the world, and yeah, I'm just so focused on next year already.
I was going to say, where you were like 2 years ago, obviously winning that world medal in Budapest. I mean, did that kind of change your life in any way? And kind of like obviously adapting to that, as you know, that opens up a lot of doors, and now you kind of run a lot quicker as well.
Yeah, it's got me into a lot of races this year, which again, I've ran 142. If you'd have told me that a few years ago, I'd have been like, there's no way. Especially if you'd have told me I'd come 5th in the race and be ranked outside the top 10 in the world. But 800 games moved on. I've moved on a little bit with it, but I'm lacking a bit towards the end of the season. But I know next year I can replicate the shape I was in this year and a bit more. So that's what I need to do to be up there to make a final. I learned the hard way this year. It's so tough in this event.
Yeah, just quickly on that, like, it's arguably been like one of the events, if not the event of the year, in terms of how much it has progressed overall. What do you make of it? Like, so many sub-142 guys now, and that world record that David set back in London 2012. I mean, everyone for a time that looked to be unbreakable. Now, I mean, people are saying it's when the bit.
Yeah, I mean, if you'd have said to me last year, I'd have ran 142 too, and like I said, not be ranked #1 in the world. I'd be like, what's happening? But it's so good to see with the sport, everyone's pushing everyone. It's not a fluke that one person does it, then all of a sudden 10 people go and do it. It's so good for the event, and I wouldn't be surprised if we will see a world record next year. I'm pretty sure of it. Obviously next year is going to be interesting with the world's being so late. Like, we weren't even started World Champs yet, which I think a lot of people are going to get it wrong, and whoever wins that race is going to be the person who's been smartest throughout the season.
Yeah, and lastly for me, like going into next year, obviously you're very good at like setting the goal orientated person. Like, what are the big aims? Obviously you've got to set 10 Worlds in Tokyo, so it's quite a wait until the big one.
Yeah, I think we're going to go indoors. Been speaking to my coach about it. I've never really done an indoor season before.